I'm your host, Kelly Carter, and today I am joined by a really incredible trio of men, Isaac Keys, Kris Lofton, and Joseph Sikora from Power Force. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Power Force has had an incredible run. What has this last season meant for you guys shooting it? What has that meant for you? Let's start with you, Isaac.
It's just amazing to be able to have 3 seasons of the show in general, because it's very hard for the show to last. But going to season 3, man, we just wanted to continue just to grow, like continue to, captivate the audience, continue to stretch the limits and the boundaries. And I think we were able to do that.
Well, I would say that it's certainly a bittersweet experience, but carrying the show with Isaac these 3 seasons has been an absolute joy. He's a wonderful human being, a great scene partner. And then if I ever forget anything that happened on the original Power show, I just ask Kris Lofton.
He's your historian.
He's the documentarian historian of the OG Power series, that's for sure.
Yo, Smurf, it's them. Man, what the f? 2 hits in 24 hours? Are you sure it's the cartel and not Miguel's people?
Yeah, or it could have been the Yardies, man. It's been wild lately.
Smurf saw the same tattoo on the hit his hand that I saw last night. Ortega definitely sent them.
Yeah, but we gotta hit back fast.
And everybody gotta stay strapped. And we need extra security at all of our stash houses.
You guys all really get to embody men who lead with power, but they also face really deep vulnerability. What has that taught you, and maybe in a lot of ways taught all of us about manhood?
That's great. I think ego. Ego can be the root of a lot of, unnecessary problems. I think one of the biggest things is also communication. Like, if you look at a lot of these stories, like the show wouldn't even continue to go on if people just communicated at times, but I think it's a lot of lessons, a lot of life lessons, and the writers have done a great job of incorporating those lessons and life lessons about relationships.
I feel like it taught me a little bit about, especially I think more privy to black men in general. I feel like it's very tough for us to ask for help. When I think playing this character, I realized that a lot of things could have been alleviated had Jannar just asked for help. Even with his battle with addiction and all of this stuff, like, you'd be surprised who would be willing to lend a helping hand if you just asked.
Absolutely.
And again, just 3 strong men that are able to communicate and support each other is rare. So it is the exact opposite of what's happening on camera. There's no duplicity amongst the 3 of us, and we really got to become like a unit and confidants, whether it was in front of the camera, behind the camera, developing these characters and checking in with each other, which made it for an incredible 4 years.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that brotherhood, because it's evident even before the camera started rolling, the admiration you guys all have for each other. But we know how it shows up on camera, but talk a little bit more about what it's like being on set with one another and what we don't ultimately see.
We laugh, we laugh together, we crack jokes. It's just a great dynamic, not just between us 3, but the rest of our cast. And we make that a point to have that type of energy and have that type of support. Like, we don't allow you. You're not coming on our set with any type of attitude or any type of issues. Like, you leave that at the door or use it in your character.
Yeah.
And, and we have fun. We support one another.
I remember the very first Zoom call that we ever got on. Like, we've never really all met each other. First Zoom, we're doing a table read, introductions. Joseph gets on the call. Hey, everybody, I just want to say something real quick. There will be no egos on this show. There will be no...
We can't have it.
We can't have it. There will be no a-holes on this show. Everybody's gonna be nice to each other. We're gonna respect everybody. We're gonna have a good time. But like, literally, before any lines were ever spoken, Joseph set that tone. So I think it started with that too.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Kris.
Yeah.
And you, find that shooter. That's the only job you got. And look, just because you're here at my crib today, don't take that as an open invite to come back.
Do it, Jay.
Kris, you once had major league dreams. Tell me about that, and then how does sports kind of show up in the work that you do as an actor now?
Well, yeah, I did have in my head, you couldn't have told me I wasn't going to the MLB or the NFL, one of them. It was like one of the 2. I think that it played a part because, honestly, if it wasn't for sports, I would have never found acting, because I ended up being in a movie when I was about 10, 11 years old, but I showed up to the audition thinking it was a baseball tryout. I would have never went had I known it was a movie audition. I would have never went. I never thought about being an actor a day in my life. So I feel that sports really is the greatest analogy for life, and I think I bring that over into acting because that's really all I know. I wasn't classically trained or like formally trained for acting. It's just I'm learning as I go. So for me, I've just picked up little gems along the way, and I do my best to listen to the people who supersede me and watch what they're doing. And one little example, one day I stole the way, I call it the Tommy stance, because there's a particular way, nobody notices it, but that's how intricate I watch. I watch him, he stands a certain way when he's Tommy. Like it's always level, the black Timberlands are straight, his feet are not all the way wide, but it's just like this. And I noticed by like season 2, episode 4, I started standing like that. It was just so much power in it. It was though, I was like, I'm wondering why I feel like I need to listen to him all the time. And I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, it's that. It's something about the stillness of it. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about it just comes off like you mean business. And I took that from you.
That kill has got to happen. Yeah, it will. But you know what else got to happen is you need to set this Tommy straight. Man, come on, bro. Not with that shit again. No, I'm serious, D. I can't keep having this motherfucker disrespecting me like that.
Isaac, you went from the NFL to playing one of the most layered characters, quite frankly, that we see on television. What was the mental shift like for you to go from the world of competitive sports to a soundstage?
You know, it wasn't an easy transition from football into whatever I was getting ready to do next. And, you know, it was a point of me trying to try different things out. You know, I took an acting class in high school as an elective, you know, just so I wouldn't have to take some other class that I wanted to take, you know, but I did find joy in it when I look back on it. So after I was trying to figure out my life, you know, what's next, I'm 30 years old and the football game is not allowing me to play this game that I love and put so much into growing up. So it's that part of where we all kind of face is where we have to transition and pivot into what's the next thing. So acting came about, you know, just kind of trying to find this experiences that were going to life, and I'd say it probably saved my life because it became therapy. When you enter to that acting class, it becomes a safe place. In life, we don't have many places like that. With Diamond, he has so many levels, so I was able to use my life experiences to be able to apply and substitute into the character of Diamond.
You know, Joseph, Tommy, on the outside looking in, he appears to be a lone wolf, but I feel like inside he really is kind of constantly seeking connection.
Family, yeah. She's always tried to build his family since the OG Power, whether it was the St. Patrick's or whether it was Holly Weaver, the first girlfriend, or inheriting the family of Lakeisha and Cash. It's always been trying to create family or distance himself from Kate, but he can't possibly do it because it's still his mom.
Let's talk a little bit more about that emotional duality, you know, and how you really kind of effectively brought all of those layers to life. It did not look like it was an easy thing to do, but yet you made it look effortless.
Oh, that's a huge compliment. I'm really grateful for that. You know, I had a lot of fun developing the Tommy character and then living in him and keeping him as close as I needed him until he was just like, I'm good, just turn me on when you need to turn me on. But that took a long time to be able to do that.
Relax, I just told Izzy what he needed to hear to keep the DSDs quiet while we figure out our next move.
Man, boy, you think of the ways to get to Ortega as we speak.
Yeah, I am. And what the f ain't you? That's the question. I mean, we both know Ortega ain't gonna stop coming back at us unless we make that feel some pain.
And then again, just the really wonderful writing of great writers of not only Courtney Kemp, of course, but of course, Gary Lennon and Heather Zulke and, you know, a million other wonderful writers on the original Power show. And so much of that we share is like, there is that symbiosis with the with the writing and the acting. Like, you know, they're with the right hand and the left hand of the creative process.
Let's talk about the chemistry that the two of you guys have as brothers. How did you guys establish that really dynamic, but also, you know, uncomfortable at times relationship?
It's the real standout relationship of the show.
Yeah,
are these two brothers.
Yeah. Talk to me about that. Where did you guys start to build that?
It's funny. I mean, it started in real life.
Really?
I mean, our dynamic, people are starting to notice it when they see us out together, like, oh, you guys, they did great casting. You guys are just like the show in the sense that, like, our personalities are like, we're similar in having that aspect, but Chris is more outgoing. Like, he's more boisterous. He's more, like, you know, he likes to speak and opinionated. You know what I mean? and a great person. But he has those things, and I think more or less I'm more subdued and kind of like watch it, but I had that other side too. When we first got these roles, it's like we kind of knew that from seeing each other around LA and being just like auditioning in different places in LA while we were living there. And when these came about, and you know, we got the news that I got the role Diamond, then later on, I was like, it's perfect. Like, I don't know if they've been following us or not, but it's perfect because of our personalities. And I think we just been able to, you know, let it grow You know, like let it evolve into it, and the writers again are getting great scenes and great writing that have found our actual voices into the characters. And it's like now, it's like we know exactly who Diamond and Jannard are. We know exactly how they're gonna move and how they're gonna act, and it just comes very natural to us.
Man, let it go. That's burnt to a crisp already. So let's just sit back and wait for the Albanians to call and hope that Che don't pin it on us. When y'all meet with Che again? Man, I think next week. Tommy got a direct line on. I can just do whatever you want to do. This is crazy. It's called a partnership. Okay, a partnership. Was he thinking about when he started Maria? Trust me, I know Tommy ain't easy to deal with, all right? But he helped get CBI back on top. So did I, D.
Now, what about Tommy and Diamond? Like, where did you guys build your kind of 1-2 punch that we see you guys have on camera?
I thought it just seemed really natural. I mean, Isaac came really prepared, really excited to be there. But like, you know, he showed up and he had definitive mission of how he wanted this character to be and what he wanted his experience to be, and he followed through. Probably in a very athletic way, and you know, so I cannot wait for people to see Isaac in season 3. But again, me too, Kelley. The brother dynamic is, as when I watch the show, I'm always like, oh, I can't wait for that Diamonds and Arts.
And he's a producer of the show, so
that's
carrying some good weight. So wait, let's go back a little bit, because I know that you're kind of the historian of the Power universe, and you just mentioned that you were a fan. What made you guys want to be a part of this series in particular, and how did these roles come to you guys?
They paid American dollars.
Looking for jobs.
Yeah, no, legit. No, I still remember the audition for me. I remember seeing the breakdown of it, and also just an article saying that there was a force coming to Chicago, a power coming to Chicago, and I sent my agent an email immediately. I said, I will do anything to get on this show. And he was like, okay, hopefully you don't have to do anything. Well, we're gonna do our best. And I was like, you know what I mean? You just give me the audition.
I love that. How about yourself? How did this role come to you?
You know, again, it was the breakdowns. And when I read it, I was just like, I fell in love with the character. It's not often as actors we get characters, we're like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel this character. I can see where he's going with the breakdown. I say, that's me. So when you have him, now you just want the world to be able to see the same thing that you see.
Yeah.
And there was one thing I wanted to add to the Isaacs. As actors, when we get put on hold or pinned for a role, there's all these terms where it's like, you don't have it, but we like you, and we're considering it. It's that little gray area for a while, and I was in that gray area for quite some time. They hadn't completely said no yet, but they still didn't say yes. And then through the acting community that is LA, I get a word. They said, hey, you heard who booked Power? I said, who? They said, Isaac. I said, Isaac Keys? I said, wait, what role? And they were like, Diamond. I said, oh, well, I got you hard. And they was like, why you say that? I said, he's the only person, we're just ugly enough to be brothers. We are both just ugly enough to be brothers. I said, this is perfect. I said, I got it. I called him immediately.
He called me secretly. He called me and said, hey, Keys. I said, hello? And he said, hey man, I heard you got Diamond. I said, look around my house, like, where'd you hear that from? Because at this point, you know you don't want to do anything to mess it up.
Now, I already know what to do. We're gonna have D-Mac knock over the 9/7s.
The 9/7s? You talking about them crazy niggas from Austin?
Yeah, nah.
I don't see the fix, D.
Hear me out. Nobody with the 9/7s because they got cops protecting their organization, right?
No. Nobody with them 9/7s because they crazy than a like I said.
And that's my point.
Do you guys remember the first day on set? Take me back to that moment.
The moment I forgot my lines because I was so just captivated by him. Like, I swear, my first day, they just threw me out to the wolves. My first day, it's a super power moment. It's the warehouse, the infamous power moments. You're in a warehouse and there's gonna be a shootout. This is power. That's how you know you've arrived, right? I don't have any lines yet, and I'm off camera, so they're doing Joseph's close-up, right? They're doing his close-up. And he's hiding behind like the crates and stuff, like bent down, hiding behind the crates. And I'm just watching him. I'm just like, oh God, this is really Tommy doing this. I'm like, wow, right? And then all of a sudden he stands up and he does this thing where there's like two guns behind him in his back. And he as he stands, he kind of goes like this with the 2 guns and then comes from behind the crates like this. And I'm just like, and then they were like, Kris, anytime now. And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to talk right now. I'm in this. I'm a character. I just thought I was like some super fan, like, or Make-A-Wish kid that got a special sneak peek of the new power. And I was like, I just was sitting there watching him in action. I was like, this is amazing. And to me, that was like one of the funniest moments first day on set for me. Like, it was crazy.
What about for you, Joseph? Because this was like a coming home experience for you in a lot of ways to go back and shoot this series there. What was it like for you, those first moments of bringing this story to life?
I really enjoyed being back in Chicago, and I was very proud to be supplying jobs for not only Chicago crew, but Chicago cast. And I definitely had my mind on people that I worked with in the theater scene in Chicago. Where can they fit in? How can we cast these people? And I managed to get a lot of them in. It was fun closing down streets that I had skateboarded on as a teenager and going through the, auditioning since I was 10 years old. And so I knew those downtown streets really well. And it was really exceptional to relearn the city, because that's really what Tommy had to do, is learn the city. So I tried to take inventory of when I was relearning the dynamics of Chicago to be like, how would Tommy be interpreting these streets right now too? So it was a really wonderful experience, and it was kind of an interesting homecoming. But I would like to say that the city of Chicago is really represented accurately the most so far in season 3, which I bet you had seen. And I just feel, and I just know it in my heart, Chicago is gonna bless this season. And because they bless this season, it will be accepted locally, so it will be embraced globally. Ugh.
I love that. So if Tommy, Gennard, and Diamond have one word to sum up this season for them, what would it be?
Choices. Yeah. It's gonna be the choices that Diamond's gonna have to make into where he allies himself, where he decides to do, how he tries to do it. And I think, as you can see, there's always a little tension built up everywhere, and each day is different, as they kind of move on, because you don't know what's promised to you, you don't know who has your back, and every day as you're going into it, as in trying to just survive.
I would more than likely say for Gennard, loyalty. Loyalty is the word I would use to sum up his season 3, loyalty. Loyalty. I won't say much, I won't elaborate on it because I might give too much away, no spoilers.
And the first word that came into my head was treacherous. And I think that is a wide range of meanings that you can place on that word, and I think all of them are applicable in our 3rd season.
Treacherous, loyalty, choices. All right, I'm tuning in.
So quote E40, I'm choosing this money, I'm stuck to this bread.
I'm choosing this money, I'm stuck to this bread.